Hi, this is Talibah Zues, and last video we covered step one, which was preparing yourself for how you're going to start to create your reality. And I hope you've done that work. In this video, what I'm going to do first of all is I want to touch on the mind a little bit to understand it a bit better. So, of course, the mind does come in two parts. You know, the conscious and the subconscious, and the subconscious does most of the work. The conscious mind does 12% of the work. This is a theory of mind by Dr. Kappas. Some people say 10%, some people say 15%. It doesn't really matter. The fact is that the subconscious does most of it. So the conscious mind analyzes, it thinks, it plans, it works in short-term memory. Then the subconscious mind, that's your long-term memory. These are your emotions, your feelings, habits, relationship patterns, addictions, involuntary bodily functions, your creativity, and so forth. Now, most of what's in the subconscious mind develops before the age of 7, when you're just a wee baby. At that point there, you're learning things. You know, you've been given this new body, you're learning to use it, and you've got this new mind and this environment, and you're learning to understand it a bit better. So what you have is you have parents, you have teachers, you have peers, you have older siblings, you have television and mass media, and these things are constantly teaching you, and they're programming you, and they're programming your subconscious all the time. You don't realize it. So you tend to go through life with these same belief systems, whether they be empowering or whether they be limiting. It's neither here nor there, and we have both. You know, we always have both, but we've been given these. They're not our own. We've been given them by somebody else, who again was given them by somebody else, and so forth and so forth. So for example, if you grew up in a family that was very religious, and say they were Catholic, and they believed in all the things that Catholics believe in, like heaven and hell, and that if you broke any of these 10 commandments, you're going to burn in hell forever. Well, when they told you the same story, you've got to bear in mind, they only did it because they wanted to give you the best, what's best for you. When they told you things like, you know, don't aim so high, don't get disappointed in life, it's because they love you, they care about you, they don't want to see you disappointed in life. They want to protect you as much as they can. But that's not why we're here. We're not here to live this life of protection. We're not here to hide. You know, we're here to do things. We're here to create. We're here to manifest. We're here to enjoy. We're here to live a greater life. Because one thing we know, that when this life ends, this life, we won't live again. You know, yes, we may come back to another body. You know, anything can happen. Most of us don't know exactly what's going to happen, but we have our belief systems. But the point is, this one life that we live now, in this body that we have now, this is the life we're living. Once it's gone, it's gone. So, our mind is made up of male and female. The conscious mind is the male, the subconscious is the female. So, the male is the penetrative force. The female receives. The male impregnates. The female breeds. So, your subconscious mind is here. You've been fed all these thoughts from when you was a child, and it's grown up. And these beliefs now have grown, these thoughts have grown to be what they are now. And that's just the way it is. Doesn't mean we can't change it. Understand that right now your conscious mind is the gatekeeper, and it's constantly, all the time, is feeding you something. Because we all talk to ourselves. People turn around and say, I don't talk to myself. A lying. We have internal dialogue constantly all the time. Doesn't mean you're crazy, anything like that. It's just quite normal. You know, unless you're a yogi that you sit there and you meditate for hours on end and you still the mind, you're going to have these thoughts, these messages that are constantly talking to you all the time. So these are being embedded. What you need to start doing now is embedding and impregnating the things that you want, so they can grow within your subconscious, start changing life, making life that you create. You have to be conscious about what you're putting in there. Don't let the things that aren't going to empower you get in there. You know, choose your environment wisely. The people around you. Be around people that can empower you. Remember, most of us sit down and watch television. If you sit down and watch television, television is what's empowering you, or more correctly, disempowering you. You should know, when you watch television, you do go into what's known as an alpha state. This alpha state means that your mind, your conscious mind, this guard here is not as alert. You know, therefore it's more relaxed. Things can seep in. Now, if you watch shows like, for example, something like EastEnders, where the bad guy is the one with all the money, you know, with the women, with the big cars and houses, and you know, the good guy is the one that's constantly struggling and going through hard times, well, your subconscious mind doesn't know what's real or not real. And because your conscious mind, the God, is relaxed and not paying attention, these things are seeping in. You think it's just a television show, but it's not just a television show, it's not just a movie. Otherwise, we couldn't sit down, watch cartoons and become emotional over them. We become emotional because we feel that. Remember, your subconscious mind controls the involuntary bodily actions. When you feel fear and you feel excitement and joy and emotions and things like that, and it's not voluntarily done, that's because your subconscious mind is doing it. So you're watching these shows and it's embedding these things into you. Then you start to believe, because ultimately we all want to be good and be seen as good. And if you read a book called How to Win Friends and Influence People, there's a story about, for example, Al Capone, one of them. He couldn't understand, in the letter that he wrote, couldn't understand why he's being persecuted for the good that he does. But most people say he was a gangster and didn't do good. So a lot of it's perception. People don't see themselves as bad. They see themselves generally as doing some kind of good cause. I'm not saying it's everybody, I'm saying generally. Now, my point that I'm getting to is, if you affiliate having money, you know, and the big houses and the cars and, you know, the partner that looks good and so forth with something bad that's not good, you're going to turn away from it. Inadvertently, what you're going to do is you're going to sabotage that. So you've got to be careful what you put in there. You know, to give you an idea, here's a clip where these 3 women have conspired to steal something from a shop. The 2 women to the right hand side are distracting the shopkeeper. That's your conscious mind. Your conscious mind, the shopkeeper. The woman to the left hand side is now taking what she wants. She's going behind the counter. So that's a subconscious mind, they're being penetrated. Now, when your shopkeeper, your conscious mind is distracted, other things can get in there. Your conscious mind becomes distracted by all kinds of things all the time. So it's important to be as alert to the things that are going on out there. But it's a hard task to do. How can you constantly, you just want to get on with your life, you just want to live your life. You don't want to have to be alert to all the things that are going on that are trying to distract you. You want to watch TV shows. You want to be able to relax and take it easy and not have to work every second of the day. And nobody's saying that you have to. And of course, life would be impossible. So in the next lesson, what I want to do is I want to teach you a way that you can start to impregnate your own subconscious mind with things that you want to give it. We'll cover the next lesson. Now, advertising, something important for you to understand here. With advertising, it's attacking us all the time. Advertising doesn't turn around and say, hey, you over there, you're good enough as you are. You don't need to buy anything. You don't need anything. You have all the answers already. No. What these advertisements are doing is they're saying, hey, listen, you're not good enough as you are. You know, you're not slim enough. You know, you're not good looking enough. You know, you're not wise enough. You're not calm enough, relaxed enough. You're not this enough, that enough. Buy this pill, buy this product, buy this course, buy this program, buy this, buy that, and it will make you better. You know, live this life. Remember, most people are not living the lives that they want to live. They're living the lives that have been told by their peers they should live. You know, somebody wants to be a doctor or a lawyer, live in this nice house and drive this car and have 2.4 kids. And everybody aims for the same thing. And we can't all have the same goals and dreams. And then there's things like midlife crisis. People have a midlife crisis. Why? Because a lot of times they're not living the lives that they want to live, that they choose to. They live in somebody else's dream. And then they get there, they achieve it, and they wonder why they're not quite happy. Again, you know, if you've done your homework, you start to look at the things that make you happy, that truly make you happy, that you really want. But sometimes you're going to get it wrong to begin with. You're going to pick other things. And sometimes when you attain those things that you start to realize the other things. But for those of you that consciously want to start to create your own reality and have the things you want to be happy, you know, this is for you. That's the bottom line. So advertising, understanding. When you're watching television, watching a show, a movie, a program, magazine, anything, there's constantly subliminal messages. Now, this is simply FedEx. It's not a big deal, but there is a subliminal image in there, which is the arrow. Most people don't see it, but it's there. What else? Well, what's this one saying to us here? This is quite provocative. Remember, sex sells. Is it coincidence? What about this here? Now our subconscious mind, remember this, it doesn't need to see like our conscious mind sees. Therefore, it sees everything. Whether it's the right way up or the wrong way up, it doesn't matter. But this is the image, sex sells. What about this one here? Bottoms up. 2 bottles of Heineken. Is this simply ketchup being poured into a sausage? Or is that a tongue? You know, subliminal messages. Remember, consciously we see it, but our subconscious mind sees exactly what is being displayed to us. This is this image here is quite innocent, but when we turn it upside down, is it as innocent now? Is it coincidence? Well, what about this image here? This is people on the beach having fun, but what's he up to? You know, what's he doing to her? Or what's he doing to her? Or what's going on back there? Or what about here? Are these simply coincidence? You know, Pepsi, that's spelling sex. Sex sells. You know, what about this here? It's simply Lion King. Now, there's nothing in this image here. You look at this and think this is not a big deal, but subliminal imagery. Our mind, subconscious mind, it can see these things, and it spells sex. What about this Magnum here? I don't think I need to spell this one out for you. I think everybody knows what this one is here. Now, what about this here? Isn't that the all-seeing eye in the pyramid? Isn't that the Statue of Liberty, by the looks of it? And isn't that the Masonic symbol? Now, the Statue of Liberty, by the way, is a representation of a pagan goddess. And I'm not saying it's bad. Not at all, not in the slightest. I'm not saying the eye in the pyramid is. I'm not saying the Masonic symbol is. I'm not saying any of those things are bad. What I'm simply trying to demonstrate to you here is that there is a lot of subliminal messages that go on in television. This is quite simply The Simpsons. You watch it, you don't think much of it. But there is imagery in there all the time. And you see, what happens is, when we look at all these things and it's subliminal and we don't know what it is we're looking at, and it's being fed to us, it desensitizes us. I mean, this is simply your Facebook sign-up page. It's not really a big deal, but what does that spell? Sex. You simply join the heads and that's what it spells. Subliminal, coincidence. I mean, this image here, when we blow up the ice, I mean, you're not going to see that consciously, but subconsciously your mind will see that. Again, sex sells. What about this here? I mean, we look to the right hand image and you would say, oh, well, is that just coincidence? Or is it really? What about this one here? I mean, this is Camel, the cigarette label. What's this one saying to us? Well, that's an image. Well, I mean, say no more. You know what that is. What about this one here? I mean, look at this plant. Not a big deal. But isn't that the word sex spelt in there? What about this? Is that just a loaf of bread? Or is that something else? What about this here? You know, is that been displayed like that as coincidence or purposely? Hey, I don't know. I'm not saying it has or it hasn't been, but I'm saying there's a lot of coincidences going on here. What about this here? Isn't that the pentagram upside down? And by the way, I just want to say a couple of things about this. The pentagram itself is not a devil image or anything like that. The pentagram, the right way up, this is upside down, but the right way up simply denotes the elements. So it's a man. So if it was upside down, it'd be his head, his 2 legs, and his 2 arms stretched out. And what it denotes is the 4 elements of earth, air, water, and fire, and then spirit. Now, what it denotes that the above is in control of below. But when it's turned upside down, below is in control of above. And our higher self means that the head should be in control. Not the lower self, but the higher self. As above, so below. Now, when you look to the left-hand side and you see this image here, and you can say, well, I mean, that's just coincidence. But is it coincidence that it's in black and red? I mean, black and red are the colours of Mars and Saturn, which is more of a darker force. What about this one here? I mean, clearly it says it doesn't matter what you see. What's important is what it is. You know, what's important is the beer. But actually, there's something subliminal about the message. Immediately, you look at it, and he's groping something. You know, about the McDonald's. I mean, that M at the top. What about this one here? I mean, what are we seeing here? I mean, what is he up to? What is she doing? Very subliminal. What about Mr. My hands are wandering all over the place, and she's, I'll have a grope back. Or what about here? What's going on? Again, you know, very, very, very provocative images. And again here. I mean, this is all subliminal. I mean, this is Red Bull. Above it is the female reproductive organs. The image is very similar. Red Bull has a lot more to it than just that. Remember, colours as well. Colours are important. We'll touch on colours in a in later video. But that sun behind it, and also the two balls at the side. Again, you can look deep into that as the wings of Horus. But that's for another time. So all these things are getting us to do the things they want us to do. So that's why it's important to understand the conscious and subconscious mind. To understand, it's important that we begin to with the male that's protecting the female, with the conscious mind, that we start to impregnate and breathe within our subconscious what we want to have in there. So again, subliminal, you know, even if you've got the guard, even if you've got the bodyguard, the doorman, you've got him there, he's on alert, subliminal messages can seep in as well. That's why it's important to do the work, do the background work, put the effort in, you know, so you're not being led astray by, you know, I mean, I've not gone into a lot of things, music videos and so forth, but it's important that we're consciously aware of what we're feeding ourselves, you know, and yes, it is a bit of effort, it is a bit of work, but it's just groundwork, you know. If you wanted to lose weight and you went to the gym and you started to work out, to begin with it's going to be difficult. You need to build some momentum. But once you get there, it's just about maintaining. It doesn't require so much effort no more. But most people aren't willing to put the initial effort in. And I know most people that watch this video, they're not going to follow through and do all these things that I want them to do. But those that do will get the results. And that's just the way life is. And a lot of times, why is that? Is it simply a case of laziness? Is it simply a case of... you see it as too much work? Is it simply a case of you have enough to do with your life already and you're trying to catch a free moment just to chill out and relax and take a break? There is a lot going on. But if you put the effort and the work in, later on it will become easier. So look, I hope you really enjoyed this video. I've covered a lot of aspects in this one so you can understand the conscious and subconscious mind. We've gone into some few different areas here. We will cover more things on the conscious and subconscious mind, because there will be times when you want to bypass the conscious mind to embed things into your conscious mind that's going to empower you. Because a lot of times when you think about something that you want, your conscious mind does get in the way. It does start to rationalize in the wrong way. It does tell you you can't have something, you're not capable, and that gets in the way of allowing your subconscious mind to really start to manifest these things, to start to make things happen automatically. So I'm going to show you how to do that also. But we're going to take this in stages. So what I'll do is in the next video I'm going to do, I want to give you a technique that you can use. And, you know, it doesn't have to take a long time. Like I say, pick one subject, make it a small subject, test the technique out, see how it works, and then start to apply it to more things. Now remember, Rome wasn't built in a day, and you can't get to the top of a ladder by going from the ground to the top step. So what we'll do, we'll take it step by step by step. Listen, I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I hope it's been useful. I hope it's given you more of an understanding, a bit of a breakdown. We will cover more principles, laws of the universe, hermetic principles and things that help you understand. But in the next video, what I want to do is I do want to give you another task to do. What you would do is you would take 10 minutes and set it aside, or 5 minutes and set it aside, and I want you to start seeing some results with the things that you want in your life. Listen, thanks for being here. Like, subscribe. My Facebook page is below. Please feel free to send me messages, comments, suggestions. Also, please feel free to ask questions. I will do a Q&A session as well. Again, thanks for listening. Be good. Peace out. And God bless.